guys! So I know it's been a while since I've done one of these what I've been watching videos. I will be honest with you, I have not watched and finished all that much stuff in the past 2 months. I am going to go through this as quickly as I can because I haven't watched all that much stuff, but there's still a lot to talk about. So, firstly, over the past 2 months we have done 4 shows for the Otaku Kato Anime Club. We have done Hero Man, we've done Free, I have already watched those 2, so those aren't going to count towards my total of things that I've watched for the year. And then we watched Silver Spoon and Gatchaman Crowds. I am not going to talk about these things here. If you want to see my extended thoughts on those along with Tensei Twister and Back a Shift, I will link to that channel down below. Okay, so starting at the beginning of last month, I wanted to watch Kiniro no Koda Blue Sky, which was something that began airing in spring season, and I had recently learnt that there were actually 2 other, well, there was a series and an OVA that came before them, so I decided I was going to watch those first. So I've watched both Kiniro no Koda Primo Passo, which was a 26 episode series I think, and Kiniro no Koda Secondo Passo, whatever, which was like a 2 episode OVA. My thoughts on that show, really briefly, it was wonderful. It was a really interesting reverse harem that had a really good focus on the characters. I grew to like them and stuff, even though some of them seemed like dicks at first, to the point where I really don't know who is best boy in that anime. Probably gonna go with Hihara. Probably. So I was super impressed with that show. So I went on to watch Blue Sky immediately after I finished it, and I hated Blue Sky. To be honest, I didn't think it was very good. I thought it was just a massive misrepresentation of what the whole series was before then. It had way too many characters, it had a really bland heroine, and I cannot recommend that series, but I will recommend its predecessor, so there you go. Thoughts on Blue Sky. I might do like an extended thoughts on Blue Sky one day because it did so much stuff wrong, and we need to talk about why reverse harems don't work when you have 12 episodes and 12 characters. So that turned negative really quickly, so while we're in the negative mood, let's talk about Nobunagan. Finished Nobunagan, guys, and it's one of my worst rated shows ever that I have actually finished, ever. I say this because personally for me, it just wasn't very entertaining. I didn't like the design, I didn't like the plot, I didn't like the plot twist. I thought it was really friggin' unique at best, but I didn't think it was good. And the only thing that really pleased me about the show was when it ended, and I thought the ending was actually alright, which bumped up my score from a 1 to a 2. I honestly really don't have anything positive to say about Nobunagan. If you enjoyed it, that's really cool. Was not my thing at all, I'm sorry. I also finished from the winter season the Pilot's Love Song, which I am a lot more positive about, but it still ended up being kind of average. I almost spoiled this, but I'm not going to, but it really overestimated how much I cared about some of the characters, like, really quite heavily. I don't know, the Pilot's Love Song was just a bit weird, because it started off really strong, and I thought it was going to be like one of the best of the season, and it just became really uninteresting really quickly, so don't know how it did that, so there you go. And the last thing I finished from last month was BlazBlue Alter Memory. Anyone remember that show? Way! I didn't actually hate it in the end, surprisingly. I thought some of the moments in it were really nice, especially the interaction between Ragnar and... was it Lambda or was it Nu? And some of the scenes were actually really cool and well done. It's just, when you put a plot that's really convoluted into a fighting game, it's just really convoluted and doesn't make a lot of sense, and that is a failing of the game, not so much the anime. I don't know whether they should have made this an anime or not, to be honest, but because I liked some of the moments and didn't like a lot of them, it sort of comes into this mishmash of me having somewhat positive thoughts of it, even though I know it wasn't very good. It was kind of average in the end. I can't say I would recommend it if you don't like BlazBlue, because you are not going to get anything out of this show. And if you do like BlazBlue, you've probably already at least seen the first episode, so I don't feel like I have to talk about this much, to be honest. And another thing that I started in May was something called Makai Oji Devils and Realists. I watched the first episode and was not that keen on it, but I will probably finish it sometime soon, so I'll have better thoughts on it then. Let's skip to June. Most of the stuff that I finished in June was actually seasonal stuff, because obviously the spring season was ending in June, summer season starting. Really excited to talk about that. First thing I finished was Kamigami no Asobi, and I really liked the show. I'm going to make a review on it really soon, so if you're interested, you should stay tuned. Next was Mangaka-san to Assistant Osanto. Sometimes it made me laugh, and sometimes it made me cringe. It probably made me cringe a little bit more than made me laugh, and I wasn't that keen on the cringe-worthy moments, to be honest. The reason that I probably didn't like this show that much is because I had not done my research on it before I watched it. My bad, I'll take full responsibility for it, but it still wasn't my thing at the end of the day. I also finished the 2-minute per episode, 12-episode shoujo ai show called Inugami-san to Nekoyama-san. I think it was supposed to be a comedy. Didn't get that vibe. It didn't make me laugh. I didn't really enjoy it, sorry. And the last thing I finished was one of those things that I was really actually kind of hooked by, but I don't know why, which was The World Is Still Beautiful. This whole show was a little bit weird for me because I couldn't help but see the main, was his name Livy? The main guy. I couldn't help but see him as like an adult because he had the voice and the attitude of an adult but had the body of a child. It was really, really strange. And I don't know how I felt about that aspect of it in particular. And I know there is a point to it being like that. It's because they have hardships and have to like go through so much shit because of the age difference, I suppose, whatever. But I kinda liked it. I don't think I would rewatch it, but I think I might watch a season 2 if that ever happened. I think a lot of my problems with it come down to the fact that the finale, the last episode, was so not very last episode-ish. Like, the episode before felt more like a finale than that episode did. It's really strange. Honestly, it sort of soured my opinion of the whole thing, so. Overall, though, I would kind of recommend it if you do like shoujo romances. I'm gonna have to read the last thing. The last thing that I started watching, I watched the first episode of Hakuoki Rei Miroku. I started watching this because I got it confused with something else, to be honest, so this happens to me more often than it should, where I get confused between what shows actually are. But I didn't hate the first episode, I just haven't had time to watch the rest, so I'll probably watch that at some point. It's about samurai, so yeah. So that's the end of this catch-up video. Promise they will be more regular from now on, but that takes my total of anime for the year to 40 TV shows, 7 OVAs, and still 1 movie, so I should probably watch some movies this month. But thank you for watching. I'm sorry about how late this is. Take care, and I will see you guys soon.